Welcome everybody, this is G, and we are going to take a walk together through the energies of February. We already experienced, I should say, a new moon. New moon. If you didn't do your new moon wishing, that is for, or was for February 11th. Maybe you'll hear this video before then. We'll see how fast I can get it edited. But February 11th was the new moon, and the new moons are a time of setting intentions because you've got your sun and your moon together. Well, this video isn't about that. That video is already out, so go check it out. I'll put the link below. This one is the full moon. So full moons are the opposite, right? A new moon is a time of setting intentions. It's a time of beginning. It's starting something new. So the full moon would be the opposite of that. That is a time of completion, a time of wrapping something up, a time of saying, okay, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I'm done with it. I'm finished. I'm releasing. It's a letting go. Full moons, right? This is when we have the sun and the moon here on the chart. If you come with me, moon over here, right? And the sun at the opposite end. All right, the sun lit up. So the sun is that circle with the dot in the middle. It looks like it's the light color brown with the dot in the middle. And when the sun and the moon are at the opposite ends of each other, there she is. There's the moon. She's lighting up our life. It's temperamental. Anyhow, so there's the moon and there's the sun at opposite ends of each other. And they're exact at 8 degrees and 57 minutes. Okay? 8 degrees, 57 minutes, and this is the sign of Virgo. Or the sun, 8 degrees, 57 minutes in the sign of Pisces. So that tells us, right, we've got Pisces and Virgo energy. They're both mutable. Mutable means flexible, means I like things, I like variety. I have the ability to change plans, change my mind, change the way I'm doing something at the last minute on a moment's notice. Meaning I can, if I suddenly am driving and I need to make a quick turn, I can do it, right? All of a sudden I can change the course of my direction. That is mutable, flexible energy, and that belongs to Virgo and Pisces. Okay, there are other signs. There are two more, actually, because they run along the mutable cross. All right, so you've got Pisces and Virgo at one end, and the other sign of the cross, the mutable, flexible, is Sagittarius and Gemini. And yes, our north and our south nodes, this is the south node, and the north node is in Gemini. And what have we been learning how to do in 2020 and the rest of 2021? Learning how to stay flexible, mutable, changeable, being willing to look at something from a different perspective. That is the whole point of the lesson of 2020 and 2021. This is what we've been talking about for a full year now, right? If you're a subscriber of Allastrology, you have been joining me on this journey, on this quest of life. The quest of life, the experience of understanding the planetary emanations and the frequencies and the radiations of personalities and experiences that they throw down upon us, right? Living here in this world and understanding how to move forward, how to navigate the waters of life. So the Gemini and the Sagittarian energies are all about being flexible. Gemini energy is my thinking, my talking, the way that I relate. When we think of people in our lives, Gemini is our sibling energy, coworker energy, peer energy, those who are around us day to day, literally your next door neighbors, people in your community. This includes your digital community, okay, social media. It is now the news. It has now become the average Joe walking around with a phone has become the newscaster, right? You've become the announcer. You've become the reporter. You've got your phone. You can take a picture. Hey, I'm bringing you the news, right? So 2020, 2021, especially the recent election in the United States, this has become a huge factor in people's thinking and beliefs, right? How you think and what you think about, where you focus your thoughts is how your beliefs get formulated. And yes, the sign of Sagittarius represents your beliefs. This represents the way you think and relate and communicate. This is the way you believe, what you believe in. This is your religion. This is your philosophy on life. So they run on the same line of energy, but they are polar opposites. And that is the same for Virgo and Pisces energy. So when we talk about this upcoming full moon at the end of February, it is a time of releasing. It is a culmination, and it is in mutable energy. And the full moon being in Virgo, we need to just simply dissect Virgo energy, and then knowing the full moon is a release, okay, it'll tell us what we're releasing when we understand what Virgo means. So for you at home listening, if you've got your chart, find out where 8 degrees and 57 minutes Virgo is. So I would say 9 degrees, but we're going to use a 2-degree orb. So we're going to say anything from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 degrees of Virgo energy. That's where the full moon is going to be occurring in your life. And when you know those degrees, you can then pinpoint what house number they're in. And the house number tells you the where it's happening in your life. For example, we'll pretend this is someone's chart. It shows that their ninth house begins at 10 degrees on this particular chart I'm using, okay, this kind of house system I'm using, which means the full moon for them would be happening in their 8th house, okay, because it's at 9 degrees. And so that means it's still within their 8th house. And so the 8th house in somebody's chart would represent their shared values, their shared energy, their shared resources. This is a house of bonding. So whether you're bonded by blood or bonded by emotions, right? Bonded by an experience. This is a house of deep energy, can be past life relationships, past life energy. It goes deep. It goes beyond the surface. This is soulful energy. These are the people that you don't know why you don't know how you could have just met them, and all of a sudden, it's like you've known each other all your lives. That's that 8th house energy. That's Scorpio energy. Okay. Also Pluto energy. Pluto rules the Scorpio energy. This is all about energetic bonds. Okay. Energetic bonds. Some people bond through money. All right. Some people bond through sex. Some people bond through an emotional experience they had together. But it's deep. It goes deep. It's not a surfacey thing whatsoever. It's not like your neighbor energy, or it's someone that you just chit chat with and you make small talk with and you say hi and bye to in passing, and they're nice and pleasant and you're nice and pleasant to them. No, these are deep relationships. You live, right? You experience, you have major uh, life lessons with, okay? Past life lessons with. So these could be people you've been married to or were married to, children, had children, children of, you were the parent of. It's just, it's ancestral energy. Okay. Now, I'm kind of glad that I brought this example up because the moon is very similar to this energy. I don't want to confuse people, but what I'll just keep it simple here, and I'll just simply say the moon represents your emotions. Okay, and I did represent emotions here, right? The moon represents emotions because it's the watery moon, okay? And it reflects, right? It's reflective energy. It has this power to show and to reflect that which you hold, but has reflections. And what is a reflection? You stand in front of the mirror and you're looking at it and you see something, and sometimes you see something that isn't physically there, right? It's almost like a reflection of your past. Many times we reflect our emotions onto other people, right? We radiate them to somebody else. You ever had that happen? And someone's like, but I didn't say that. I didn't mean that. But because you have this remembrance within you from your past, it's almost as if they touched a sore spot, even though they had no intention of doing that. And in essence, it's as though it stirs something up and it comes to the surface. And some way, somehow, you understand it to be something that they tried to do or to say or inflict upon you. But it really wasn't that. It had so much to do with something that you held deep within you. And so the moon, being part of our emotions run deep. They run very deep. But the thing about the moon that connects with the past is that the moon is reflections of your past. It's reflections of your past lifetimes as well. Lifetimes that you've lived. And if you don't like the word lifetimes, then maybe it's just, when you were a child. And so when we talk about the moon, it has many meanings. So for many people, this is our childhood, our family, our ancestral family, perhaps. We have those who believe in their ancestral energy consistently surrounding and supporting them in their journey, in their current journey. We have those who don't believe in that. And so we say, okay, then this is from your childhood. You see, astrology is vast. It includes everybody. There's no exclusions here. So whatever your belief may be, this simple symbol, this moon, can apply to you because it has that sort of, the symbology about it is all encompassing. It excludes no one and no thing. It's a culmination and it's a release, an emotional release, and a release about something we got emotional about. So let's break down the Virgo energy and let's find out what it is we're releasing. Only you know the where you're releasing it in your life because you have to find out what house number it's in. If you want help with that, if you need a chart, there are many things here at Allastrology we do for our subscribers. Okay, if you've subscribed, all you've got to do is you give me your birth info. You just comment below and let me know, hey, G, I'm interested. I want to know my chart. I may not want to know the depths of it, but I at least want to know where this is happening for me. And I can do that for you. That is my service to you. So just comment below that you want to know, and I will take care of you. 8 degrees, 57 minutes. We also have to look at the sun, 8 degrees, 57 minutes, all right? Because when we talk about something, we have to realize that it has the opposite energy connected to it, right? There's this polar thing that exists, all right? And so nobody is just a Virgo energy. Nobody is just a Piscean energy. We're both. And when I say these things, it's not just about what your birth date is, okay? It goes deeper than that. Mutable, flexible, changeable, Virgo. Virgo is your health, the health of your body. It's also the hygiene. When the pandemic began, when it began on a level where it affected the public, like where it was like, okay, it became into the public's consciousness. And I'm saying this because I believe this virus, I believe there were aspects of this, the knowledge of it existed prior to the public's knowledge. The moon represents the public, okay? Because it represents family, okay? And when we think about family, yes, we have our own personal private family, you know, the people you live with, the people you have your birthdays and your holidays with, right? That's your family. But isn't there a greater family? Isn't there a family that we have here within the earth for the inhabitants, right? Humanity is your family, okay? And we're just going to keep it on that level. Yes, we have other family too. But for the sake of keeping things simple, we're going to talk about humanity. And so the moon on a private scale is your mom. Okay, it's the divine feminine energy. All right. It's also the nurturing and the suckling, right? It's that mom energy. She gave you life and then she fed you. She nurtured you. She took care of you. That's your moon energy. Okay. And so your moon and any feminine being in your life who nurtures you in some way is represented by the moon in your life. The moon represents that person for you. This can be a male figure. It doesn't have to be a female. Anybody, okay? Whether it's spiritually, physically, with food, right? Giving you a home, clothing, a safe space, an energetic safe space. Any sort of nurturing, that's mom energy. Giving life, right? That life-giving force, that mom energy, Mother Earth energy, right? Who is our mother? All of our mother? The Earth. She feeds us. Okay, so we're talking the moon, mom, feminine energy, and then humanity. Our global connectivity is humanity. Okay, so this is the public. The moon represents the public. And so we're talking about Virgo energy and the hygiene, because when the pandemic first began, right, when it first got into the eyes, when it became known, there was a full moon in Virgo. There was a full moon in Virgo energy, all right? And so the whole point of that, it was a release in the way that we were practicing hygiene. It was a release in the way that we were doing and keeping track of and being aware of the details of our health. Okay, because Virgo energy is all about the details and the details to connect dots, to understand something better. They have to, there's like all these bits of information and connecting all the bits of information. Virgo does that so well. It takes the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, and adds those numbers up and says, hey, this is what this comes to. This is what this is. This is it. And so Virgo does a wonderful job of collecting the data because Mercury rules the sign of Virgo. Okay, so keep these things in mind. We also, I believe, there's different thoughts in astrology that the Ceres, Ceres, is a co-ruler of Virgo energy because Ceres is so much about our food and how it affects our body. So much about our food and how it affects our body. Health routines, hygiene routines, work routines. Virgo is our work. Virgo represents our service, who we serve. Serving those that we're close to, serving those who are important to us. For many of us, this is the work we do within our regular job, the job, the day-to-day routines, because isn't your job typically part of your day-to-day routines? So there's a release. Now, the reason we give out the degrees and you pay attention to those degrees is because it's not just the house number, but you also want to look in your own personal chart to see if you have a planet that you were born with, right? If it's around this degree, if it's around 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 degrees. Because if it is, that means that there will be a big release for you. It will be something that you will notice. How many times have you heard these readings and you thought, okay, it came, it went. It wasn't anything significant for me in my life. And then there were other times it was like, holy moly, did that happen? Huge release, huge event occurred. Why is it that sometimes it's big and sometimes it's not? Well, the difference comes down to your chart. If you've got something that's at those matching degrees or within the orb, you're going to feel it. You're going to be aware of it. The more aware you are, the higher your sensitivities are, the more you are aware of events. And sometimes those events don't need to be so huge. The greater awareness a person has, the less stronger an occurrence needs to be for them to be aware of it. Does that make sense? Are you the person that the deer can just gingerly walk up to your car and you see it and you think, wow, what an amazing moment? Or are you the person that needs the deer to come through the windshield because you just didn't even see it? You didn't even notice it. And the thing literally came through the windshield. And then at that moment, that was when you noticed it. But how do you know that same deer hadn't passed by your car on your same travels, your same ride to work every day, or your same ride to the school every day? How do you know you hadn't seen that deer many times before because you had the phone going, you were listening to the music? I mean, how many times? Because we are not present in the moment of where we literally are, right? Now that we've got these devices, we can be 1,000 different places other than where we are at the moment. Remember something, people. The magic is in the moment. That is where the miracles occur because that is the only time you will ever be aware of that miracle happening is in the moment. So when we get back to this full moon thing, right? A releasing, it's a health routine, it's a work routine, it's a hygiene routine, right? Now, keep in mind, Virgo, when we talk about health, it's your digestion, it's the stomach area, right? Anytime you talk to a Virgo, they're like, oh God, yes. Oh God, yes, digestion issues, right? Lots of Virgos I connect with have lots of interesting things to say about their Virgo energy. But a release in something, okay? So we take a look at the overarching energies of the other planets during this full moon, okay? You see we've got lines here on this chart, okay? We don't see any huge difficulties, right? We don't see, we see some squares. You see that square there? But big difficulties is when you see like a T-square, which would mean like a square this way, right? But what we do see, and I'm going to point this out because this is important, is we see Mars over here. I'm always looking for Mars. I'm always saying pay attention to Mars. So the full moon, in case I forgot to say that part, February 27th, 2021, February 27th, 2021, okay? I do have the time here. We got Mars at 27 degrees in Taurus energy, okay? So as far as the transiting planets in the sky, Mars in Taurus, what would square Taurus energy? What would square would be anything in Aquarius energy. It's 90 degrees away, okay? And how do we figure that out? Well, we just kind of go through the signs. So Taurus, right? Taurus to Aries is 30 degrees. Aries to Pisces is 30 degrees, so that's 60. And then add on another 30 to get to Aquarius, okay? And Aquarius, what's in Aquarius? Right here. You've got Jupiter at 16, you've got Mercury at 13, and you've got Saturn at 8. So we'll do that one more time. We've got Jupiter at 16, Mercury at 13, and Saturn at 8. We have nothing, we're showing nothing at 27 degrees. So this is good. That means we don't have Mars squaring anything. Okay, and remember, these are transits. So these are current planets in the sky. And that's important to understand because it's the planetary bodies of the moment. Okay, and the emanations that they give us. But where are your natal planets in your chart? Do you have anything in the sign of Aquarius at 25, 26, 27, 28, or 29 degrees? So again, a square in your natal chart, if you have any planets at 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 degrees in Aquarius energy, or what's the opposite of Aquarius energy? The opposite of Aquarius energy is Leo energy. And I'm pointing out those degrees and these signs because they would square the Mars in Taurus. These are fixed energies. We have Taurus, which is fixed. We have Leo, which is fixed. Scorpio is fixed. And Aquarius is fixed. So you see that? And you see the different colors, okay? We have Leo energy, which is fixed fire. Scorpio energy, which is fixed water. We have Aquarius energy, which is fixed air. And we have Taurus energy. Taurus is fixed earth. All right? Mars at 27 degrees has nothing squaring it by transit. Okay? Nothing is squaring it by transit. We do see that Pluto is going to be at 2559, which means 26 degrees, which means that Pluto and Mars, days before Mars would have been at 25 degrees, Mars would have been trining Pluto. Because Pluto is an Earth. It's in Capricorn at 26. And so Mars at 26, 25, 26, 27 trines that. Remember, Pluto in Capricorn is big business, big government, okay? That's been around for a very long time. It's being transformed and changed. And I'm saying it's big, big, big because Pluto represents power. Capricorn energy is boss energy. All right, it's those that are in charge. It's the authorities. It's the boss. It's the it's the boss at work. It's the CEO. Pluto, power. Right. So we mix those words together to create an easier understanding to formulate ideas of, well, what does this mean? I know what the symbol means, right? But you got to try to form a sentence out of those symbols. So Capricorn energy, something that's been worked on and that's been created over a long period of time, something that hardens over time, something that's built to last a long time. And so, well, if you're new, this might come as a shock to you. All right. So I'm just going to kind of prepare you for this. I have said in the past, I've been talking about this for about 2 years now, that the United States in particular is going through a major change. All of its structures that have been around for a long time, right? All of its tangible structures. So that's business, it's government, anything you can think that is structures within our society, they're all going to be changing. All right. So the material, tangible, it's all going, the brick and mortar, right? All going away, all changing. Okay. All changing to elevate, to go beyond and to be reformed. And it's happening because of Pluto. It's happening because of Pluto. Pluto is the transformer. Pluto comes through, it takes something out by the root, at the root level. Takes it out at the root level. And what that means is what once was will no more be. And Plutonian energy within the United States government, it's also within the United States second house. It has a lot to do with the way the United States makes their money, their income. They're tangible resources, okay? They're natural resources because it's in the United States second house. I don't have the United States chart here. I could pop it up, but then it would make this all way more confusing because then you'd see another chart impressed upon this chart. And if you want to do that, if you want me to create a video for that, I know that's not for everybody. Let me know. All right. Let me know and I can create that. If there's any particular interests you have, right, let me know and I can create that for you. All right. But understand that there is a transformation coming. And, we already are understanding how that could be. We are seeing the reality of that with this recent election, with our government, with the politics in this country, right? With the things that are going on with our belief system and our thinking, right? I began this video talking about a little bit touching on the North Node in Gemini, our thinking, our communications, our news and our media, and our belief systems, and how that's changing, how each and every single person right now is pointing a finger at somebody they know in their life and they're saying, I can't believe they believe this. I can't believe you believe that. I got to believe there's not one person that isn't going through this on some level, in some way in their life. And we're supposed to. This is part of the process. This is a part of we're letting go of a belief. This symbol right here with the little horseshoe upside down, the little things up there, this is a release. This is I'm letting go of. Okay? And it's in beliefs. This is Sagittarius. It's beliefs about religion and spirituality. It's beliefs about truth, what we once thought was true. This is what this sign represents, truth and freedom. Freedom of beliefs, right? Freedom of religion. Freedoms. We're releasing. We are realizing we're letting some of these things go, right? Something you thought that was once true, you're releasing and letting go. We're supposed to be doing that because we're elevating. We're elevating. But remember, this is part of the process. It's a birthing process. For any of you out there who have never had to carry a child and then go through the process of actual labor and then actual process of birthing, it is not simple, right? There are those fortunate few who are, oh, baby just popped right out. But you talk to women who've gone through those stages, okay? It's not simple. It's hard work. So have faith, folks, okay? This is part of the process. I know it seems unreal. It seems otherworldly. And unfortunately, there are times when tragedy does strike. And we've had that happen here in the U.S., right? January 6th. We had tragedy happen. And it's unfortunate that it takes tragedy to shake and to wake people up. Again, it's my same question. Are you a person who needs the deer to come through the windshield? Some people may not understand when I'm talking about that. And that's what it's the same as talking about January 6th. What do you need to happen to wake you up to what's really happening? So what we're going towards is a new way of thinking, a new way of talking, a new way of communicating, of receiving our news and our media differently, of socializing digitally differently, of socializing locally differently, because this is where we're headed. This is your North Node, a new way of being, a new way of thinking. This is the North Node. So getting back to the full moon, I bring that up because the sun at 8 degrees in Pisces, 9 degrees in Pisces, right, on the full moon, the sun's going to move along. And it's going to eventually get, just 5-6 days later, it's going to be squaring. It will create a T-square with the nodes, with the north and the south node. Because Piscean energy is mutable energy, and like energies create squares, okay? So Pisces, the sun is going to square the nodes, the transiting nodes, all right? Now, the pandemic energy is also the Piscean energy, all right? That's Neptune at 20 degrees. And the beautiful thing about Neptune being at 20 degrees here is that it's far away from the nodes now, okay? When we were having a buttload of loss of life, we had Neptune squaring the nodes tightly. And I'm not saying that the loss of life is going to end all of a sudden, okay? But having the nodes pulling away is going to help immensely because Gemini energy, Gemini is oxygen. It's breathing. It's because it represents your speaking and the lungs in your body. Okay. And when it was being squared by Neptune, Neptune is the king of water, man. Neptune is water. It creates respiratory difficulties. So getting the respiratory difficulties, having Neptune move along and having the nodes getting out of there and stop squaring that, that's one less stress. Okay, yes, there are still other stressors, but that's one less stress. And so I, for one, am happy to point that out. That's a wonderful, beautiful thing. So what are we releasing for this new moon or for this full moon? What's being released? Well, it has to do with the public. It also has to do with your family. Some people likely releasing family members. And could that literally mean family members passing off, passing away? It could be. It could also be people in your life that you once considered family and that you realize you no longer want to consider family. But let's talk about this Virgo energy. It's more or less releasing some of our hygiene routines and our health habits. It could be releasing some work, okay? Releasing work routines, work habits. It really comes down to the things you do day to day. Keep that in mind. There also may have been a food that you were using and consuming that you're releasing, because it's Virgo energy is has so much to do with your health and your well-being. You know, it's my body, it's body consciousness, it's understanding how foods affect my body, my digestion. It's that Virgo energy. And it's connecting those dots. It's being able to add up. When I eat this, I feel this way. And when I feel this way, I think this way. And how does food affect the way I think? Because doesn't how you feel have everything to do with how you think? This full moon is ruled by Mercury, okay? This is a Mercury full moon. And so is the North Node. It's ruled by Mercury. Remember, Mercury is about our lungs. It's about our ability to talk, to breathe. The sun and the moon moving along and the sun eventually squaring the node, that might be difficult at that time, right? So that's like, we're into the next month already, because this is on the 27th. So we're talking the beginning of March, right? The sun moves 1 degree a day. So here it's at 9 degrees, right? So we talk, I said 5 days because within an orb of 2 degrees, we'll have the sun squaring this energy here, squaring the node. So just keep this in mind. Keep yourself prepared. All right. What that just means is make sure you're being diligent, wearing a mask, social distancing. I realize everybody has a different belief system as to what's causing the pandemic. You know, the ugly bug, the virus, the C word that, when you're on YouTube, you can't use the C word. Otherwise your video won't be monetized and stuff, but we're referring to it as like the virus and the ugly bug. Just be aware that the sun moves very fast, by the way. Okay. And so just keeping the awareness of the overarching energies. So in the beginning of March, there may be more difficulties that we're hearing about, but it's going to pass. This too shall pass. Okay. Now, what I can show you in another video, if you would like, but there is more information about Neptune because it's going forward now and it's at 20 degrees and in conjunction with the chart of the United States and this pandemic. And it is important information. So if you want to see a video on that, let me know and I can create that. And people may be, you may feel like, I don't want to hear about that. I've been hearing enough about it. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I just want to kind of pretend it's not here. Some of others may feel like, well, no, I need to know because I want to be prepared. I want to be able to navigate strategically. And that would be my recommendation, because that's the whole point of studying these is to know what the emanations are, what the feelings are, what the planetary bodies, what kind of energy they throw down on us, and what we can expect. Right? What we can expect so that we can, make the best decisions and choices in our life. But the full moon, a release, a closure, a letting go, possibly a job, possibly leaving a job, right? Because it's work habits, work routines. It really depends on your personal chart. But remember, okay, this could be family members, people who were family members, people who you felt they were like family members, mothers. There could be individuals who this mother energy, whether it's a mother in your life, your mom, whether it's, your my mother from another type of thing, right? Or whether it's someone who feels like a mom in your life, public energy, public hygiene, public health routines. So what we could see is additional information, because what's interesting about this full moon is Mercury. Mercury is actually done retrograding at this time. Okay, Mercury stopped like at 13 degrees, and so what that means is there's typically some information that we have now that we didn't have before. But remember, my recommendation for making decisions, especially if you're doing taxes right now, wait, wait, wait to do your taxes until March. And if you can't wait, and I say mid-March, like March 13th, because Mercury is still in her retrograde zone shadow, okay? Or her shadow zone. I kind of said that backwards. She is done retrograding, so our thinking is a little bit clearer and better, and we may not be having as many restrictions with social media and communication. But until she clears her shadow zone, which isn't until March 13th, that's when we truly have all the information that she went backwards, that she went to go get, that she went to go retrieve. Okay, so keep that in mind. And typically, if you have to do something important before then, just make sure you have other professional eyes looking at it. Okay, and going over something for you, getting other opinions. Okay, because likely what happens is we just simply forget to dot an I or cross a T. We forget some detail that's crucial. All right, and so you just want to keep that in mind. February, like I think Valentine's Day. We have Mars and Venus squaring up. Okay, Mars is at 27 degrees here, and here Venus is already into Pisces by the end of February. But earlier in February, mid-month of February, we had Venus and Mars squaring up. And again, I think I did mention that before, but typically that can just mean actions, masculine and feminine energy that are kind of angling in a way where there's tension. Some could say it's sexual tension and frustration. Either way, you always want to remember to give your Mars energy a physical outlet. Okay, go work out, go do something physical, because that's what Mars likes to do. That's how you satisfy that Martian energy. Depending upon where you live, go garden, go out back, dig some holes, go run around the block, get out into the woods, hike, go bike, do something physical. Okay, because that's when you start feeling that, just realize you're not the only one. We are all feeling that way. And so if everybody's feeling that way, well, you have this knowledge. So if you have the knowledge, if you've got the knowledge, and there are people in your life who don't know anything about this, they don't know anything about the inclinations and the impressions that they're under, then be the smart one. Be the smart one. Don't be pointing fingers and saying, hey, you need to go do this. You be smart. Be excellent and go and do. Take this knowledge and use it. Go and do something with it. Now, let's point out some of the beautiful things we're looking at here. What do you see that's beautiful? What do you see? See the matching colors? We've got Gemini. We've got the North Node in Gemini, right? At 16 degrees. Look what it's trining. Beautiful Jupiter at 16 degrees, exactly trining the North Node. Mercury's 13 degrees, right? So we've got Mercury and Jupiter trining the node in Gemini. This is good news for the people, right? This is good news for the people coming. Okay. And I say that because this is groups and friends. That's what Aquarius energy represents. So this is Jupiter in Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius. I know I probably did that fast. This is the sign of Aquarius. Some say this is water. I like to think that this is actually electricity. This is Nikola Tesla energy here. This is like the energy of the gods or God, however whatever lines up more closely with your belief system. universal energy, divine energy. When Mercury is in Aquarius energy, this is genius energy. This is inventions, okay? This is inventions, right? Ben Franklin, right? Flying the kite up in the sky, the electricity, coming through. This is that. This is Mercury and Aquarius. This is genius energy. All right. Great inventions come through at this time. And so this is wonderful. And it's trining social media. It's trining your neighbors. It's trining your talking, your thinking, your relating, your communicating, right? That's Gemini energy. Okay. This is how we relate, and this is being able to network, and talk. Okay. And this is also keeping track of information because it's Mercury, but it is the pandemic. It is the ugly bug. It is the virus. It's the transportation issues, right? So this is good news. This is like you're seeing for those who are like, oh yeah, I want a vaccine. I believe in this. I want to take part in that. This is coming through the ability to distribute and the quantity, because Jupiter adds to things. That's what Jupiter does. Jupiter is typically benevolent. It's super benevolent in Aquarius. It's super benevolent. It can spread its guardian angel wings wide. Okay, it can fly really high and cover lots of folks. And this is group energy. The sign of Aquarius means group energy. Okay, some say it's your social circle, it's your friends, it's group energy. So good news for operating in group energy. Okay, news, media, information. That's what the sign of Gemini is. So this is optimistic. I like this. This is really nice. Okay, and that's how February looks like. In the beginning of February, the second week, third week of February, we had the sun, we had Venus, we had Jupiter, we had Mercury, we had Saturn, all in the sign of Aquarius. Okay. So it was good news coming through for the masses, right? For group energy. Now let's talk about Uranus. Uranus is very important. Okay. I did take a peek at the United States chart, and this Uranus, for the US's chart is important. But it's not the only thing that's important. It's important because Uranus rules Aquarian energy. Okay. Uranus, this planet, Uranus, rules this sign of Aquarius. So because Uranus is in Taurus, it tells us what's going on. It tells us how, like the flavors, the added ingredients to this Aquarian energy. It comes down to our tangible resources, our natural resources. Okay, the things that we value, the people that we value, water, air, right? This comes down to all of that. Our money and our income. Okay, remember Uranus is science. It's also the astrologer, but it is shocks and surprises. It's flight. Let's not forget, it's flight. Definitely is air and flight. This is important. I associate with the Uranian energy big time with me for birds and any winged beings, big time with me, just because the way it's the location of it in my chart. Mars, I have to get back to Mars. In the United States chart, okay, the United States has their natal moon at 27 degrees of Aquarius. Okay, I know I don't have that here. I can quickly pull it up. It would make this more confusing, but we'll just pretend that it's right here, right? The US has their natal moon in Aquarius, which means the United States really is about group energy. What is best for mankind? What is best for all involved? Okay, that really is important to the United States. Okay, it's a young country, folks. I know we get impatient, but you have to remember how young our country is. We have so much to learn. We really do. Okay, and it's proof, like what we're going through right now. It's proof. When we understand the moon being at 27 degrees, well, it's going to be kind of rough around February 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, because Mars will be squaring the United States moon. And what that means is that's the United States moon, right? And that's our mother, our country, our home, because that's what the moon represents, your home and your family. And Mars will be squaring that. So be prepared for that. Mars is the body, but Mars in Taurus is it squares our values. All right. So our emotions, the public's emotions about what they value. Okay, remember, Mars is the fighter. Mars likes to fight. Okay, Mars is the warrior. Mars becomes very stubborn when it's in the sign of Taurus energy. What's really good though, and what will be very helpful, is having the Venus and the Sun in Pisces. Because Venus is all about being peaceful and loving. And when she gets into Pisces, Pisces is about being peaceful and loving. Now remember, Pisces can also be delusional, okay? Because it's like Hollywood and dreamy fantasy. So you just want to keep that in mind, especially when the Sun and Venus get conjunct. Venus being in Pisces energy and the Sun being in Pisces energy, whether they're conjunct or not, they are 6 degrees away or 7 degrees away. But it's still this emphasis on being loving and peaceful. However, because it's Pisces, remember, Pisces is delusional. Pisces ruler is Neptune. And its job, it wants the best for all involved. So its sacrifice is a big word here, right? But it also can be dreamy and delusional. All right, so remember balance. Balance is a key thing. In astrology, we always talk about the oppositions because we are really ultimately striving how to compromise and how to meet in the middle for all of the planets, for all of the signs, for all of the energies. Balance is actually the answer for all of us. Okay, balance. I heard a friend say the other day, I love hard, I love hard. Loving hard sounds like a wonderful thing, but it makes it really difficult when there's changes within that love. So we really truly want to try to be balanced in everything we do, whether it's our love, whether it's the way that we think and believe about something and communicate, or how hard we work, right? If you work too hard, you overwork, you hurt yourself. It's the same way with love. Loving hard, does that mean you hold on to somebody tightly? Well, what happens if you hold on to something too tightly? You kill it. You literally prevent it from breathing. You squash it. So it's balance. Balance is the key. That's what we're striving for. So just keep this in mind, especially when it comes to your money. When it comes around the end of February, some people might be getting back their money, income tax return money. Some people are getting that government money back, definitely getting stimulus money. That should start rolling in soon. Even though we haven't heard about it yet, it is coming because the stars say it. So I see it, and I'm just sharing what the stars are showing you, that we are, that stimulus is definitely coming. And so people might be getting that already, but just think about the long term. Okay, the long term. And I'm going to share with you, remember what I talked about, Pluto in Capricorn in the United States. Okay, the dollar, the US dollar, like all that is going to change. It is going to change. We are going through a deep transformation that will be within our resources, our tangible resources, and that includes our dollar. That is going to change. So be very careful. I'm not saying to be, I'm just saying to be smart, just to be wise and to think long term about what's really important to you. What is important to you? What is it that you truly want? These are important factors. These are important factors. I read a quote recently. Actually, the quote was I heard it in a video, and it was beautiful. I believe it was by Oprah Winfrey. And she said, "What determines your greatness is the depth of your service. What determines your greatness is the depth of your service." I want it all. Give it to me. Give it to me. Look at the paws. Give it to me. Yeah. Right? Okay, pretty girl. Okay, pretty girl. Okay, pretty girl. Where were you laying anyway? Oh, Mr. Steve's bag. There's a warm fire over there. You could go sit right there with your cat tree. Oh, no, she'd rather have the human bag. Say, I'd rather have the human bag.